Hello, class 11th student. Today I am going to start chapter 13, that is the last chapter of microeconomics. Topic is price determination in perfect market. This is part 1. In this chapter we are going to discuss how to determine price in perfect competition. Okay, so what are the content of this chapter? First is we are going to come to know about the market equilibrium, then how market equilibrium is decided, then shift in demand, shift in supply, and simultaneous shift in demand and supply and its application. Within that we are going to learn about price ceiling and price floor. Okay student? So first of all we are going to start the concept of market equilibrium. What do you mean by market equilibrium? So if I explain it in my language, so market equilibrium means where demand of X good, where demand of X good is equal to supply of X good. This point is known as a market equilibrium, and whatever price is there, that is considered as a equilibrium price, and quantity that is sold and purchased, that is considered as a equilibrium quantity. Okay, so if I draw it diagrammatically, so this is your demand curve, this is your supply curve, both are intersecting at this point. This is your equilibrium point, and here is market equilibrium. Why? Because here demand of X good is equal to supply of X good. Okay, so that is the reason. Okay, now when we draw the straight line from this point, so we get quantity. So OQ quantity is sold and purchased, so this is your equilibrium quantity, and this is your equilibrium price. So we exist OP price, and that is what? That is your equilibrium price. Okay, and this is your OY axis, this is your O axis. Here is quantity demanded and supplied, and here what we are going to denote? Price. So market equilibrium is determined where demand of any good is equal to supply of good. Where both are equal, that point is considered as an equilibrium point, and at that whatever price, that is considered as an equilibrium price, and whatever quantity sold and purchased, that is considered as an equilibrium quantity. Okay, now what is written in your book? So market equilibrium is determined as a state of the market where demand for a commodity is equal to its supply, yani where demand of X is equal to supply of X. That point is considered as a market equilibrium. Okay student, corresponding to a particular price. In a state of equilibrium, market clears itself, yani ki demand is equal to supply. There is neither excess demand nor excess supply. So that is the region, it is known as a market equilibrium. Okay, so this is the reason. In a situation, the price then prevails in the market is called equilibrium price, and quantity is known as a equilibrium quantity. That is written again. Okay student, now we are going to understand this concept with the help of this table. Okay, you can see here ki 3 is the price at which demand of X good is equal to supply of X good. This is why it is considered as a market equilibrium. If we go to the 4 or 5, we can see that supply is more and demand is less. So we find what? Supply is greater than demand, yani excess supply. Okay, if you go any price level that is below to this equilibrium price, so if 2 are 1, so now supply is less and demand is more, yani ki this is the condition, supply is less than demand, yani excess demand, there exists excess demand. Okay, so this is the only at the price 3 rupees, 30 is supply and 30 is demanded. So this is the equilibrium. Okay, Now you can see in this diagram, this is your demand curve, this is your supply curve. Both are intersecting at point E. So this is your equilibrium. Okay, and whatever price is here, that is known as a equilibrium price. So this 3 rupees is your equilibrium price, and what amount is sold and purchased? 30 units. So this is what? This is your equilibrium quantity. Okay, if you go to the above, yani 4 or 5, so this is what? This is your excess supply. And if you come to any price level that is less than this equilibrium price, 2 or 1, so we find excess demand. Okay, now one thing you have to keep in mind when this chapter you are learning, कि whenever there is condition of excess supply, competition will be among the seller, competition will be among the seller and price will fall. Okay, suppose there is demand of 10 and supply of 12, so there are 2x that is unsold. So now seller have to decrease the price to wind out this extra supply, to eliminate this extra supply. Okay, now if suppose there is condition of excess demand, yani ki demand is 10 but supply is of 8, so there is 2, there is excess demand equal to 2x. Now there will be competition among the buyer. Buyers are ready to pay more price. In this way price is going to be high. So what you have to keep in your mind, whenever there is excess supply, competition will be among the sellers and they are going to decrease the price. When there is excess demand, competition will be among the buyers and price is going to be decreased. Okay student, so keep this line. Now, what do you mean by excess supply? So, excess supply refers to a situation in which market supply of a commodity is more than market demand at a given price. So, this is what? This is your meaning. Now, when this exists, so this we find when market price is more than equilibrium price. So, this is the region या condition for excess supply. Okay, now in the table we can see कि when price is 5, there is the condition of market supply is more than market demand. Okay, pressure of excess supply lead to fall in the price. Why? Because whenever there is excess supply, there will be competition among the sellers. Okay, due to the fall in the price, quantity demanded increases and quantity supplied fall, and this process will continue till again the price become 3 rupees, where demand is equal to supply. Okay student, so if I explain it, suppose it is your demand curve, it is your supply curve. Okay, and this is your equilibrium quantity OQ, and this is your price, equilibrium price. Okay, now excess supply. So excess supply exists when equilibrium price is less than market price. Now market price is P1. Okay, so what we find, demand decreases to QD. Okay, and supply increases to QS. So this is the demand and this is the supply. So this area is of excess supply, yani ki K and L. This indicate excess supply. So whenever we find excess supply, there will be competition among sellers, and in response price is going to be high, and price is going to be low. And this fall in the price will continue till again OP1 price become OP. Okay, so that is the explanation of excess supply. Now come to the next, excess demand. What is excess demand? It refers to a situation when market demand for a commodity is more than its market supply at a given price. When it exists, so this is the meaning. Region, when market price is less than the equilibrium price. So this is the region. Okay. Now, in the table you can see कि when prices 2 are prices 1, there is the condition of excess demand. When there is the condition of excess demand, price is going to be high. Why? Because competition will be among the buyers, so they are ready to pay more in this way. Okay, if I explain it, so this is your demand curve, this is your supply curve, this is your OQ supply and OQ demand, and price is OP. So this is equilibrium price and this is equilibrium quantity and this is your equilibrium point. Okay, if fall price decreases, market price decreases, it become P2. Now this is going to, at this price, supply is going to be QS and demand is going to QD. So supply is this much and demand is this much. So there is the condition of LK, excess demand. Excess demand, competition will be among the buyers and price is going to be high, and this increase in the price will till it again become OP. Okay, student? Okay, now the 3 basic assumption of market equilibrium. Under the perfect competition, first we consider that price and quantity supplied are positively related, यानी कि supply of X is the function of price of X, and there we find positive relation. Okay, and price and quantity demand is negative related, यानी कि demand of X is the function of Px and both are related negatively. Forces of supply and demand operate freely, यानी there is no government intervention. Okay, thank you for today, students.